Why can everybody come here and fish right out here and pull kings out and we're not allowed to?
How do you think we feel when we know thousands of kings are taken right out of here? Back trolling, hook and line and gone, and yet we haven't taken one. We can't take one. We're going to desecrate the whole area. I mean, come on. I wish someone would get a hold that had some power and said, listen, you know, these guys are entitled to a few thousand fish, they're entitled to some kings, find them an area that works for them and let them fish. You know, that's the way it should be.
Our people have been around for thousands and thousands of years. Primarily Athabascan, Dena'ina, some Alutiiq, Aleut. We number about 900 tribal members. We're the tribe known as Ninilchik village.
If you would have went back in the village, you know, 60 years ago, you would have seen every smokehouse in the spring, smoke coming out of it, fish smoking and people having it. The lifestyle has changed drastically, and over the years, the fishing is less, harder to get fish, harder to share. We've been fighting forever to get back to our traditional lands.
You're listening to KNBA Anchorage 90.3 FM.
The Ninilchik tribe in Alaska has been granted approval to use a more effective method of catching its subsistence allocation of Kenai River sockeye salmon. KBBI's Dacia Eaton has more. Rather than dip netting, the Ninilchik Traditional Council can now set a gill net. On July 27th, the Federal Subsistence Board approved the tribe's emergency special action request to operate a community subsistence gill net fishery on the Kenai.
We're about approximately river mile 28, you know, exclusive area.
Yeah. But this guy here will hold forever.
We got two 60-pound bags with the halib anchor, and it'll still move. A lot of work to get it set up.
You can see that this 10-fathom net's got a pretty good bow in it, so it's only probably going out about 5 fathoms or so.
Good.
When you put it in perspective of how small or a tiny area that this net is in comparison to the whole Kenai River, really pretty microscopic in the grand scheme of things. And a lot of people think that, you know, it's like you're putting a net across the Kenai River and so you're just going to block off this entire massive river and restrict all these access to these fisheries when you can see hundreds and hundreds of feet to the other sides. Fish and Wildlife Service says that this is a spawning grounds and then a rearing habitat area, but yet it's okay for them to back troll, you know, with 4 or 5 people in their boat. There's a lot of guides and sport fishermen fishing for kings right outside the buoy, so it's kind of hypocritical to say, you know, we can't fish here as subsistence fishermen, and yet they can fish right outside our buoy catching and directly harvesting Chinooks. This has been going on for a long time. Over the years, we've spent countless hours and literally millions of dollars to fight this subsistence effort when it's something that should have been guaranteed under the ANILCA process. It's unfortunate that we have to go to such great lengths to try and preserve what's our people's right to continue their subsistence way of life.
How many dip nets do you think there are in the Kenai? Thousands. You could line up 3 dip nets, 4 dip nets. That's about the length of this net. And yet we're the big can't do it, you know. Pretty damn hypocritical and ludicrous.
As you can kind of see from out here, this isn't something that you can just run out, you know, every community member can do. It's a lot of time and effort. It's important to note, the most conservation-minded people are the Alaska Native people who have been here for thousands of years. If we didn't have conservation, we didn't eat, we didn't survive. And so this idea that we would somehow harm a species or create a conservation concern is basically completely unfounded. We've done this for a long time. We're Gillnet people. And we know how to fish. We know how to fish in this river. We know how to fish all over the peninsula with gill nets.
If you think of the percentage, less than 1% of the total fish caught is what the tribe is allocated. It's pretty sad. Hopefully that'll change.
What kind of groups have supported us? Very few. A lot of it is political, to be honest with you. People don't quite understand the subsistence preference that has not been fully implemented by those in charge of responsible for implementing it. That's the Great Kenai River, one of the greatest rivers on earth. Hence, anytime another user group has an opportunity, it's going to create controversy. And so I think there's more perception issues and concerns, purported concerns, not actual concerns. So it's been really difficult to try and weed through some of those issues. And one of the biggest thing is just the conservation issues that Fish and Wildlife Service brings up as far as habitat area and fishing in this area with a net. I think we've shown and proven that this subsistence fishery is not a concern to resident species or Chinooks. Subsistence to us is not just the fish itself, it's the emotional tie, the spiritual tie, the cultural tie.
You want to get my cooler, Ivan, please?
Teaching our children, passing on the traditions I learned from my father about smoking fish and salting fish that he learned from his mom.
We're picking up fish for our family, and we're probably going to smoke it or pickle it.
So grateful. I'm here picking up some sockeye salmon. I put in my permit for a subsistence permit on the Kenai for the gill net for the community, and it's just awesome because I haven't had a chance to fish this summer. I'm very grateful for these guys. They've been, I heard, going really strong, and it's just a blessing.
What are you going to be busy doing tonight?
I think I'm going to be cleaning fish. First ones for the year. I'll have fish for the winter.
Brings back our heritage and everything from our cultural and everything. I mean, I come from over 100 years down here, and most Ivan and some of us, this is where our families come from.
I was fortunate enough to be qualified to get fish from the Kenai net. I was just so excited because, I am disabled, and this really helps me. This is really a blessing.
One of their own sport fishermen did an analysis a few years back.
We fought so hard to just get a little bit, to get a little subsistence, federal subsistence priority, and it's helped. It's paid off. And so now we're able to get a few fish.